Greetings, snowboarders out there in the snowboard universe. My name is Brian Donovan. I'm a professional snowboard instructor and trainer and coach. And I just wanted to do some gear reviews to help people spend their hard-earned money. Today we are here talking about the K2 Afterblack. And you can see I have this. This one was my daily driver last season, and so it has a lot of wear and tear. I probably have 80 or 90 days on this board alone. This board, if you're shopping, this is a medium stiffness, do everything park board. For me, this board was torsionally soft, meaning that it twists really easy. For those of you that like to get a board that you can twist. So if you're taking your feet and you're kind of doing opposite moves with your feet, this board will twist really good, which helps you get in and out of turns, which helps you butter, which helps you lock into rails and boxes and do different slides on jib features. But torsionally soft. I like boards that are torsionally soft. And I'd say that this was, if I was coming up with an arbitrary scale, this one was probably like a 4 or 5 on the torsional softness. It wasn't a noodle, but I could still get the board to twist and get the board to do a lot of things for me. One of the things I loved about this board was that even though torsionally it's softer, it still has a lot of stiffness longitudinally. So tip to tail is still pretty stiff, which helped it. I would classify this as like a big park board, or like a medium park and a big park board. This isn't a super soft noodly board. It's not going to be the easiest board to just butter all the time. It's not going to be meant for just being like crazy soft and unable to hold a shape. It's going to be more of that like medium to large park. It's going to have some guts to it, I guess. So along the line, tip to tail, this board's going to have a little bit of stiffness to it, which gives you tons of snap, tons of pop. It gives you tons of rebound when you're just coming out of turns. This board just absolutely explodes and gave me a ton of rebound and pop coming out of turns. It felt really lively. Didn't feel dead to me. Let's talk a little bit about the profile of this board. So this board is camber between the feet. So in this section, it's camber. And then outside the feet, it has rocker, and it starts to come up early rise. So one of the insider tips that I would give based on that profile for this board is I would size up a little bit bigger than you normally ride. I normally ride boards that are in that 151, 152, 154 centimeter range, and this is a 154. So I've sized up because with that early rise or that rocker outside the feet, it rides a little shorter than the overall length. And so definitely encourage you to take a look at maybe sizing up, nothing crazy. I'm not saying go up 5 or 10 centimeters, but go up maybe 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, go up a little bit, and this board will still behave like a board that is a little bit shorter in length. And so definitely like the insider tip after riding this board for a full season, I highly encourage going up a little bit. And that's what I did with this one. Again, I ride 152 is that really Goldilocks zone for me. And this is the 154 Afterblack. Personally, my setup on this, I didn't think that there was any need to detune this board anywhere. Contact point wise, I took this right out of the wrapper. I put bindings on it, and I took it right on snow. And I thought it behaved well. I didn't feel it was grabby or catchy. I felt that it just it was very predictable, and I love that about it. I think that has a little bit to do with the rocker outside the feet and the early rise. Helps it not feel grabby or catchy, especially when you get out to the contact points at the end of the side cut. To me, this is your do everything daily driver type board. The Afterblack it'll ride groomers, it'll go out and carve, it'll go out and ride groom snow, it'll ride choppy snow, it'll ride bumps, it'll ride trees. It loves the park. It's a true twin, both in flex and in shape. And so it performs really well in the park. This is kind of that Swiss Army knife for me coming out of the K2 lineup. This is your do everything daily driver. You're never going to feel like you have the wrong board to do what you wanted to do. There was not a single day where I felt that I was on the wrong board while I was riding this board. We talked a little bit about this board's jumping prowess. I think that this board jumps really well. I think it jumps everything from extra small and small jumps and just getting a little air off of cat tracks and little rollers, all the way up to hitting medium and large jumps on this board. It holds its shape, it holds its snap, it's predictable. So as you come off the lip, you're not going to get bucked. Nothing's going to catch you off guard with this board. It has a little bit of stiffness along the length, and so it just really snaps and pops, especially with a little bit of extra speed. It didn't buckle on you like a lot of really soft park boards can do. I didn't feel that I ever worried about this being that. It wasn't too soft to handle jumps of any size. So for me, again, I feel this board comes alive in the park. I feel that it locks into boxes and rails really well. I felt that it was forgiving. It would nose press and tail press, and it would get into like blunt slides and get outside the feet and still be able to slide. Really fun and easy and able to balance. It wasn't so stiff that you had to really like have all your weight there. You could be a little bit lazy and a little bit steezy with your jibbing and with your box and rails. And I thought that this board just, again, was predictable. This is a really predictable board. It doesn't do anything that you don't want it to do when you're riding it. So handles jumps, boxes, and rails really, really well. I can't say it enough. This would be my go-to daily driver out of the K2 lineup. This is the board that I feel behaves and handles everything on the mountain. It's capable of going to the park and slaying. It's capable of riding the trees and not getting beat up and not getting bounced around. You can ride bumps, you can ride groomers, you can just go launch off cat tracks on this board. You can pretty much do everything. This is your not trying to be a specialty board, just trying to be a daily driver, Swiss Army knife. This is it. This was my daily driver last year. This will be a daily driver of mine in the future for sure. This is just a board that I absolutely have a blast on, and it's never the wrong call. Let's talk the tech specs coming off the K2 website. This board has a sintered 4000 base on it, so it's going to be fast. It's going to be able to take up, you're going to be able to abuse it a little bit. It's not going to fall apart on you. It's an absolutely solid base. It has triaxial laid up glass in it. So tech terms, the glass is going in 3 different directions inside the layup. So it gives it a little bit of stiffness to it. Again, it's kind of that medium stiffness. On the super soft to super stiff rating scale, K2 gives us a 6 out of 10. And those scales can be super arbitrary. I would classify this as you're not going to need to go 40 miles an hour to get this board to bend. It's also not going to just be a super flimsy noodle. This is going to be a really good mid-range. I would call it on the softer side of mid-range, but like a good mid-range stiffness and playfulness. It'll handle everything from big jumps all the way to just jibbing and buttering all over the mountain. So the core of this board is made up of 3 different woods, and I'm going to butcher the names. You can find them on the website, but you got bamboo, you got aspen, and then paulownia. And so it's 3 different woods that they hand select that really just combine to give it a ton of pop, ton of sustainability. It's not going to feel dead. Like after a bunch of days on it, a lot of boards you get on, it'll feel dead, or the core just doesn't feel like it has any more to give. I didn't feel that at all with this. Again, putting a ton of days on this board. This board felt the same from day 1 to day 80. It didn't really feel like it ever deadened out, or really didn't feel like it just became something that was not what I was expecting it to be. Again, so this is the idea of these gear reviews aren't for any other reason other than to try to help somebody that might have stumbled across this video saying, I'm interested in the K2 Afterblack and I want to get as much information before I spend my hard-earned money. Just trying to share my experiences with this board and trying to share how I feel about this so that I can hopefully help somebody be a little bit more educated when they make a decision on buying this board or buying a different board, but you have a little bit more insight into how it maybe behaves. If you have any specific questions on the K2 Afterblack or my experiences on it, please feel free to drop a comment below this video and I will get back to you with answers or insight. If it's a question or a comment or just a general inquiry, by all means, hit me up in the comments, and I would love to connect and just help you again have a little bit better insight into the K2 Afterblack before you potentially buy this board or buy a different board. If you found this video at all useful or insightful or just gave you like one little nugget, I would ask that maybe you take a moment and hit the like button down below or share this video with your friends or your snowboard circle. Again, I'm just trying to get information out about gear that I ride and try to help people make some decisions. But getting that word out or spreading that word amongst your group could totally help somebody else make a really good decision or avoid making a bad decision when it comes to buying gear. And so if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button, consider subscribing, drop a comment, let me know what other gear you're interested in hearing some reviews on, and if I have experiences with it, I'll give it to you very real. And other than that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking a couple minutes and checking out this gear. This is the 154K2 Afterblack. Absolutely love this board, daily driver. Highly encourage you check this one out.